So IBM, as you know, a large corporation, we have 350,000 employees around the globe, and a long history of kind of involvement in the community and tech education. So we definitely, as part of our corporate social responsibility, see it as our part of the work we do to ensure that workforce, talent, students are prepared for the open job roles that we have and those in our industry have. And we know, that there is kind of a significant gap right now because of the pandemic, among many other things, in terms of open job roles around the US and folks who are unemployed. I think the gap is about 2 million more open job roles right now. And we are seeing kind of throughout California. I'd be interested to hear if you all are experiencing this, but we're kind of having a lack of folks kind of applying and going for these roles. And I think it's partially, this is a time when people are gaining new skills, they're learning, they're kind of sitting back and waiting for something better, but also they need the time to really skill up and be prepared for the roles available. So I think this is an ideal time to take advantage of the resources on Skillsbuild, incorporate them into your curriculum, into your internship courses, into the work that you all are doing, and is so vital for our Bay Area students to be prepared for the open positions that exist in the market right now. So I'm sorry, the share your screen bar isn't going away from me, so it's kind of blocking some of my view. So as you know, and I'm sure you're aware, I kind of want to give you a little bit of background of why IBM is participating in this work and how we see ourselves as a partner in this work. We know that as a tech company, there's so much more expertise and comprehensive support that goes into ensuring students are prepared for the workforce of today and that they're successful once they get there. But we know, as I said, there's kind of the gap between work demand and the availability of skills. And so we want to do what we can to support closing that gap. And this is a really interesting statistic, right? This is almost half of all jobs by 2022. So that's next year, will require new skills. And we really need to catch up to ensure that we're specifically training in these skill areas, not just in the technical skills like cybersecurity, AI, and data analytics, but also these soft skills like complex problem solving. The tasks that you're required to do at work are changing. Last week, I was in a meeting actually with some of our Bay Area congressional representatives and our executives at IBM, and it's really interesting to hear from them, how they see this gap and what they'd like for us as a company in the community to do about it. But one of our executives mentioned, I think this goes back to what Olivia was talking about, is that AI actually is kind of enabling job creation right now. So jobs that used to require bachelor's degrees, all of these complex skills that were difficult to attain the necessary requirements for positions. AI has kind of taken away some of that complexity and enabled many roles in cybersecurity to be entry level. You can go in with a certificate, an associate's degree, and really be successful in those positions. So there's a lot of work that we can do together at the community college level to ensure that students who are so capable and so prepared to do these jobs have the right skills. So just a little bit more background, right? As we know, businesses are changing fast, and kind of one of our biggest threats right now is that we don't have the talent to fill these roles. And we want, especially in California, I think, to ensure that everyone is included in this technical economy. Before I was at IBM, I was working in our school system, in the K through 12 system, and I saw, there was really a gap in who was kind of included in tech education, who was getting access to software development, to the resources necessary to participate in our ever-changing workplace. So we really want to make sure that we're closing that gap. Obviously, there's been massive job loss throughout the pandemic, and we know that this is a really good time to kind of shift the skills that we're teaching and we're learning so that folks can re-enter the market, or enter the market for the first time, I should say. So finally, kind of getting to what we're doing about it and our partnership with the Bay Area Community College Consortium. So a few years ago, IBM took kind of our internal Your Learning platform. So that's like what every IBMer does their professional development courses on. We earn these badges, certificates, so that we can add them to our resume. We built a free offering on that platform that provides adult learners the opportunity to access IT skills, the soft skills and workplace skills as well, that create a bridge to really hot employment opportunities. We also have a lot of content that's fostering workplace talent and promoting really inclusion in the workplace. So there's a lot of content on this platform. Like I said, it is free, but this partnership that we have with BACCC allows you all as faculty to access all of the content that we have on the platform. So we have internal partnerships at IBM with our different departments that offer certifications, that offer learning, partnerships with Red Hat for their certificates, Fortinet, which is a cybersecurity leader. You get access to all of this content for free through the partnership, whereas normally there would be a significant cost associated that typically gets passed on to the student. So just kind of some quick facts about this. You can see the bullets on the left-hand side of the screen here, but it is all asynchronous learning. It's meant to be self-guided with the support of an instructor. So there are skill maps included that we can support you with, where we can talk about the skills learned in each course and map them to the requirements in your curriculum. So a lot of support available from IBM through this partnership and through Ray and Olivia, who have been working really closely with me and my team to ensure that they can do the best job possible supporting you as well. And something really exciting that we're, once we get some instructors and classes and students on the platform, we can start building out a repository of IBM mentors locally to support your students as they go through this learning. They can help them get over roadblocks and also then kind of close the gap between that skill development and actually finding a job. So just a little more about the core offerings, what's on here, why is it different? I think that's something that's so critical and that Skillsbuild does really well is offer badges around things like professional skills, job application skills, things like agile, design thinking, mindfulness. These are so core to new ways of working, and there's really robust resources to support the teaching of those skills. Then, of course, we have role-based course offerings. This is the more typical thing that you may think of, very technical skills like cybersecurity fundamentals, data analytics. You see customer service representative. We have IBM Z badges on here, cloud computing, really core technical skills with a vast array of open job opportunities across the country. I think I saw, I'm gonna have to double check this number, but there's something like 500,000 open cybersecurity entry-level positions across the country right now. And IBM actually committed, our CEO committed last week to reskilling 150,000 people in cybersecurity over the next 3 years. So we're really working hard to support that growth and that development of talent in the space. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly show you the platform before Ray talks about what we are doing. Sorry, Ray, that's your slide. Talks about what we are doing in the space with BACCC. So here's what the platform looks like. And as a faculty member within one of the Bay Area community colleges, you are actually going.
You still have your slide up.
Oh.
Need to swap windows. I think you have to quit.
Thank you. Yeah, because I just shared the PowerPoint slide. Thanks for pointing that out. How's that look?
Better. Well,
Fantastic.
You're back on the slide. Build your future in tech for free.
Okay, yeah. So this is skillsbuild.org. Here we go. Yeah. So you're actually going to be within the 4 organizations supporting job seekers side. You can come browse our course catalog here, the badges, but you're actually going to want to sign up, and Ray will go over this through BACCC to ensure that you have the full access through the partnership. So I'm just going to log in through my IBM ID. Again, on the job seeker side, what you see here as students and educators, we do have a side of this platform that is for high school students and their teachers. So that's what the student educators is. Folks in college and adult job seekers fall into kind of this 18+ side, which is really more career pathway oriented rather than just exploring emerging technologies. Just to make that clarification for you all. Give it a moment here.
Working without a net there, Zoe.
I know. When I have my virtual background on video, my computer does tend to slow down. All right, so here's how the platform is oriented. You can see that I have kind of tracking my learning hours, what badges I have earned. Up top, you can browse all of the courses through recommendations, and I'll go there later. But this area is really fantastic because as a student, I can come in and see what I've done. I can see kind of what I've added to my queue, like, okay, this is up next. Or if I'm interested in a particular topic, I can subscribe, and then I'll get a notification as new content is added to that area. As a faculty member, something that you're going to be able to do, and again, I think Ray will touch on really your capabilities as a faculty member, you can actually assign learning to students. So you can see learning assignments, and then as a faculty member, you can track what they've completed on the platform, bring that information back over into Canvas, and really utilize this as part of your curriculum. And so this will come up for your students here. You can have your class of students in the platform. The spotlight is also really great. We can add things here, and I just want to show you kind of what a learning plan would look like and something that you could actually set up for your students. So if you click into this, are you new? I'm actually going to stop my video so that we can hopefully get rid of that lag time. You can see that this is going to take students through a professional foundations program. So this is the learning journey. In the Career Jumpstart, students are going to take the professional skills badge, the Agile Explore badge, and then a career assessment at the end. So there are lots of great content in here. This could be perfect for an internship prep course, or something like that for students who really need to be focused on those professional skills. And you'll actually earn a badge at the end of this that you can demonstrate your learning. That's really great for kind of articulating what you've done. I'm going to go back and just go through all of the learning pathways quickly that we have available here. And you can see some of the badges and what they'll look like. And like I said, you can add this to a LinkedIn profile, or a resume, however you'd like, or a personal website. So lots of badges in the digital foundations arena. You'll also notice that working in a digital world, professional and essential skills are the base of all of our pathways for role-based learning. So cybersecurity, and here you can earn Fortinet certifications 1 through 7. And so these are industry recognized certifications that should prepare a student for an entry-level position in cybersecurity. We ran a training, and I'd be happy to kind of share more information about that with you, with a number of faculty members across the state of California in June around cybersecurity and how to incorporate this content into coursework and layer it on top. Data analyst, enterprise computing, so that's that IBM Z Systems Administrator. And this team actually that helped build this badge is based in San Jose. So lots of positions open there for students. Linux System Administrator, this is fantastic because these Red Hat certifications can be very expensive. Through our partnership with them, we can offer them for free to students through the platform. Project management, this is pretty new, but it's a great badge. customer service. I know Ray has worked on that one. And then we do have some content on entrepreneurship with Nifty. So this is by no means, a full list of all the content on here, but I wanted to give you a sense for kind of what it looks like. The time period that this will take can range from a couple hours for the mindfulness badge to, weeks of work for students. So I'm going to pass it over to Ray unless there's any questions, or I don't know, Jen, if you're still on the line and wanted to add anything. She may not be on the line anymore. I don't think she's here anymore. With that, I'm going to share. I'll pop back over Ray and share the PowerPoint again for you.
Yeah, thanks. So no need to get it in slide mode. We're just because I'm going to kick over to a website in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So I did want to point out a couple of projects that are underway. I'm going to start with the second one first because Zoe just talked about the cybersecurity certification and all of those materials, and that is being adopted at College of Marin. Manny Kang up there has decided to use that as sort of foundational materials for his CS 160 class, which is a class in cyber fundamentals. And that'll be coming up I think in the spring semester. We'll see how that goes. And then also at Contra Costa, Francis Reyes is incorporating the professional skills into a career prep class, and that class is actually starting now. So we'll get some experience with that. In terms of what you can do as an instructor, there are, as you saw in the cybersecurity area, there was a complete pathway there. You can also go through and pull out individual modules to use to augment your existing curriculum. And again, like Manny is doing up there, replace a textbook. So he's not using a textbook, he's using these materials for that course. As far as how to get started, the one caveat I want to make sure you'll see, I seldom capitalize things on a bullet, and you see I capitalize the word not. Do not sign up for the free educator account. If you just went to Skillsbuild, there is a thing that you can sign up for there that's a free educator account, but that doesn't give you the full privileges. And so our license with IBM gives us additional privileges beyond what happens there. It's not the end of the world, but it is kind of a pain because you can only have one type of account associated with your email address. So we would rather that you had the partner account that we'll set you up with. I put the URL there for where to set up. And if you want to unshare, Zoe, at this point, I would be happy to throw up, show you how to navigate to this thing. But basically, if you go to BACCT.org, and I'm having the same issue Zoe had with stuff that blocks out my menus on the screen. But if you go there under careers, under resources, and then just scroll down to instructional materials, you'll see a big IBM section here. And here is IBM Skillsbuild. It lays out, there's a button where you can look at more of the curriculum without actually signing on. And then down here, you'll see a registration form. And that's the way to get the account that has all of the privileges associated with it. Well, it has privileges associated with it to help you decide if you want to use some of these materials in one of your courses. If you do decide to use some materials, then we give you some additional privileges. So for example, you could enroll your students into these modules. You could have the grade book. You can string together modules into a custom learning path of your own, where you can assign learning, and then you can assign learning paths to students. You can assign exploratory channels, which is just a bundle of materials on a certain topic that students can use, etc. But the first step is to register for this account, which is the BACCC instance of Skillsbuild. And that gets you into the sort of the queue for additional privileges, and also for direct support from IBM on building things and on learning how to do things. So that is